And we're back, everybody, with another video by request. I've had people messaging me and asking me, and I did not do a video about this for a good reason because, frankly, my blood pressure is too high, and I know I should not let this stuff bother me. I should not get so personally, emotionally involved with some of the stupid stuff that Dodge does, but damn, it's out of control. And since I've been accused of being nothing but negative against Dodge and Stellantis and all the insanity that's taking place there, I feel like if I didn't do a video on this, then there would not be a historical record of me continuing to call them out for the unbelievably stupid crap that they do. And the stupidest one, which is launching this new Dodge Durango silver bullet. This thing is nothing more than a triple nickel Dodge Durango Hellcat with the year moniker of 2025 and being called the 20th anniversary Durango for an astronomical price of
$1 million.
115,000 insane dollars. Let's go ahead and talk about this thing for a second. Let me show you the details on it, and let me just make sure that I drive this point home, that if I ever see one of you, one of my loyal subscribers, driving one of these things down the street, and you paid $115,000 for it, I am going to make fun of you. I'm going to make faces at you through the window. How about that? I will probably follow you to wherever you are going, and then fall down on the grass in front of you laughing at you for spending that kind of money on this car. If anything comes out of this video, I am going to implore you all to stop and plug your brain into whatever outlet you need to plug it into.
I love lamp. I love lamp.
To make sure that you don't fall for this utter scam, in my opinion. They're selling the same old Durango Hellcat that they've been selling since 2021, and now they're charging $115,000 for it. Let me show you something crazy. All right, so this is the announcement of the 2021 Hellcat. We can go all the way to the top, and you can see this is when this thing came out, going back to April 2021, and they were talking about it. It was grand. This is the part that is downright comedic, because they said no one, for better or worse, the Durango Hellcat is all about being big, big numbers, big thirst, big utility, big price tag of $82,490 to start, and 88 whopping $1,470 as tested. And they say find another 3-row SUV that can outperform a Durango Hellcat for less, and you've found a hell of a deal. And sadly, that's what you'll have to do. Why? Because the Durango Hellcat is one model year only affair, and all 2,000 examples sold back in January. Sold out back in... And all 2,000 examples sold out back in January. Don't expect to get a deal on the secondhand market either. For the lucky few who secured one of their own, enjoy the tail-out shenanigans, but please secure the approval of your passengers and your phone beforehand. This thing was going to be 1 year. 1 year. People lined up. They sold out immediately. Collectors bought them. They are sitting in garages covered in bubble wrap because these people were sure, to this day, they don't even want to go out to their garage and look because they're afraid they're going to have to face the reality of the horrible decision that they made, that was made horrible only because Dodge didn't tell the truth. Now, some of you are going to say, well, but Tim Kuniskis, he's the reason. He lied. Remember, Tim was a salesman. He was an executive, but he was a salesman for Stellantis, for Dodge, and he was being paid really well. And pretty much every one of you listening to me right now who aren't worth, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 million dollars probably would sell your soul to be able to get that paycheck to say what he was told to say. And I believe wholeheartedly that Tim Kuniskis believed in 2020, when they said this thing was going to be coming out, that it was going to be 1 year because of all the emissions issues. It seemed logical. But then it came back out. And we found out by 2023, and I remember standing at the LA car show, and they had one there. I think it was in late 2021, or maybe it was 2022, but it was going to come out again. We found out it was going to come out again, and I remember posting a video with it in there, and people were saying, "No, it's gone forever." I'm like, "Doesn't look like it's gone forever. It looks like it's coming back." And the sales gal, of course, kind of a hostess type situation at the car show, certainly didn't have all the information, but she said, "No, it's coming back." And I chalked it up to this was a temp hired to walk around and point at the cars. But nope, she was telling the truth, and that sucker came back. And all these Hellcat Durango people were pissed. I did a video on this. They even filed a lawsuit. And Lord knows where that lawsuit is at this point. I'll try to look it up in a future video and tell you if there is any outcome yet. But I'm sure Stellantis is keeping them nice, deeply buried in court with court costs and not letting this thing get very far. But let's go back and just talk about the price. $88,470 is what it came out at. And I remember a lot of us were thinking, it's a lot of money. I even did a video where I took my wife down to the Dodge dealership to meet my friend Sam, the salesman there that day, and drive a Durango 392, which they didn't have on the lot. So we drove the 6-cylinder, and she hated it. And we found out that when the Hellcat came out, she wouldn't be able to get the bench seat to be able to have the 7 seats in addition to the driver, 3 in the back or 2 in the back, 3 in the direct back and the driver's side and passenger. And for that reason, she said, no, it's not going to work. We went with the Land Rover Defender, which was about the same money and not very reliable and a humongous, colossal piece of crap. But she loves it. And if she hears me say that, I will be sleeping on the couch tonight. But she freaking loves that big piece of junk. But nonetheless, I wished and I prayed she would go for the Hellcat Durango. But she didn't. But at that price, $88,470, we were still thinking that was pretty crazy back then. And then the dealers went nuts with the markups. And of course, we were tortured and tormented with $20, $30, $40, $50,000 markups forever on these things. But guess what? People knew in their heart this would be the last one. There's only a couple thousand of these out there. They're going to go ahead and cash in. But then we end up where we're at today with this thing. The 2025 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat Silver Bullet costs a staggering $115,315. Nearly $10,000 over last year's edition. And here's what's really comedic. They're also coming out with the Durango RT 20th Anniversary Edition. It says, which is considerably cheaper. It's the RT. Okay, that means it's got the 5.7 for $68,565 in the plus trim. And you can go on to Dodge Garage, click on the horsepower locator, and find out where you can go get screwed, blued, and tattooed for this thing, for either one of these things, because you know that these benevolent dealerships are going to completely rip the daylights out of anyone stupid enough to walk in there and say, I would like to buy a Silver Bullet, or I'm going to order one from you and expect that you're going to honor MSRP by the time it shows up, knowing that if they screw the guy over out of the car and they sell it to somebody else once it's standing inventory, they're going to make themselves $20,000, $30,000 more because there's an idiot for every seat. And I'm sorry to be negative about this, and I know I've shared how bad I feel for some of these people that are just buried, but this is getting astonishing that they're at $115,000. I could do a whole nother video on all the amazing machines you can get for $115,000, but certainly I would agree with all of you that to find a SUV with over 700 horsepower might be challenging, but there is some pretty amazing stuff out there if you wanted to go start doing some shopping. Luxury vehicles that would blow your mind that you can get even a year old, 2 years old, that would be way, way better than this thing. Now, for $88,000 today, maybe I'd consider it. Maybe you would consider it. But at $115,000 and then add the markups, we're talking about more than the MSRP, the original MSRP on the Demon 170s before the price jumped in the middle of a lot of people's orders. So we're talking about Demon 170 MSRP prices for this SRT Hellcat Silver Bullet, which is nothing more than a sticker package. and it's pretty clear. I'll attach this article and you can read through it. It's cosmetic upgrades. It's got the exhaust tips, the rear logo's finished in black, 20-inch wheels, painted lights out, or in other words, dark gray, 6-piston Brembos, red painted calipers, and red ebony interior, Napa leather seats, embroidered with Hellcat logo, suede headliner, steering wheel, heavy dose of forged carbon fiber. If you go look at one of my videos when I was driving that Hellcat Durango, had all this stuff, similar, same interior, forged carbon, all this stuff, and they were begging people to buy that thing for in the 90s, so mid to high 90s, and now they're going to want 115. I will predict these things are going to sit there forever, but I could be wrong because there's people out there with bubble wrap left over, and they will buy these things for one reason. They will think that they're going to be able to retire, just like everybody who's sitting on their demons right now, not knowing whether they have a time bomb underneath the hood that's going to blow as soon as they decide to drive the thing. And the people who are hoarding their Hellcats and their sticker cars in their garages, expecting that they're going to make a killing in 3 to 4 or 5 years, which is absurd. So that's my story on the Silver Bullet. It's just a Durango Hellcat. It's another year of the Durango Hellcat. And if anybody thinks that this is the last year of the Durango Hellcat, I've got a bridge to sell you. Now, it makes sense that it should be the last one, but if you believe them, I'm done believing them. I don't believe anything they say anymore. I don't even believe that they're done with the Hemis. I believe someone's going to buy this thing. I saw an article I'll do another video on that one of the descendants of the Chrysler family is trying to put together enough money to go ahead and buy Chrysler, which would probably include everything else. Who knows what's going to happen with this thing, but we know that it is a colossal shit show over at Stellantis when it comes to Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. So I think that there is some definite changes in store. And does it mean a Hemi? I don't know. I mean, that could be dead forever, but it could be something that is amazing, that is better than what we're currently dealing with if Stellantis would just let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Say goodbye, because we're done with you too, Stellantis. With that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment. Don't buy this Durango. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
What we are seeing in the Western world right now is that the consumers are not supporting as much as the political leadership was expecting the EV ramp up. And the consumers, they are very clear in what they expect from us. They expect safe, clean, and affordable mobility. And safe and clean they are, affordable is the challenge. So they want basically to buy EV cars at the price of internal combustion engine cars.
Bullshit!